Hey guys, what's up?
Happening.
We live.
Oh man, yeah, y'all niggas should have caught the pregame. It was fire. Nigga, wait till we get a Patreon. Oh my lord.
Oh my lord. So,
all we need is 100 people to spend $1. That's how we're gonna charge y'all niggas with $1. Yeah, man, you gonna get all the roast jokes. The shit that we be talking about midgets, racial stuff, nigga, all type of shit, nigga. We go crazy. We like Timothy's. What's that nigga name?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yo, no. What's the white boy in the roast?
Oh, no, fuck that nigga. Fuck his name?
That's
I
what niggas
forgot.
gonna say about me if they get this goddamn
Oh,
pregame
that's
show.
Tony. Hedgecliff. Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be Kill Chris on this motherfucker, ain't
Shit. But
it?
yeah, man, we were laughing about some shit before the pod because we got some topics we got for y'all.
Bro, the topics we got today, it's just two stories. And usually we come with the fake monologue, talk about how this is gonna do this and this gonna fuck it. Just two stories. One about the president taking his dumbass on the vice president. I'm sorry. Well, president, vice president, both dumbasses. We just go with that. The vice president going on daytime television. The other is very interesting. A chatbot running a fake town.
Yeah, man. So JD Vance, he went on a View today to sell a
Horrible.
book about faith.
Double horrible.
Oh, and then that's the official reason. But within minutes, it
I
turned
wonder what Anthony
into.
was at.
Within a few minutes,
Where
it
she
turned. It
where
turned
she
it. Okay. Within a few minutes, it turned into Whoopi Goldberg whooping that ass, asking him. Asking him point blank why his administration keeps scrubbing Black history out of museums and monuments. Oh man! And Vance's response was basically, "What are you even talking about? What we Black people? What?"
at?
Then she tagged in
Dated
Joy.
a black girl before.
She tagged in Joy, and she came in on the economy, and she was like, "Yo." When Vance tried to spin the president saying the inflation was a hoax, comment to something that it wasn't. Bear hits him with the line of the day. She says, "Are you his interpreter, or are you his vice president?" And the
Nigga.
okay, and the most telling moment of the whole hour, when Epstein questions start piling up. Vance didn't.
Boy,
He
this
didn't
was
even
a
dodge you
bad
with policy.
this was a bad hour, my nigga. Oh my god.
Oh my God!
He walked in and
First thing in the
said,
morning.
black people are coming to me. Epstein's house. This
Epstein.
nigga's like,
Nigga webbed up, bro. And he didn't even try to dodge that shit, the Epstein shit. He just said flat out, "Let's just talk about the book.
come on, please.
I'm here to
Please,
sell
people.
books, please."
Please, please.
That's not a man defending the record, man. That's a man trying to survive an hour of live television, bro.
Bro, they spun that nigga so many times.
Here we go.
This
We're gonna get
this
into all
nigga
of it.
this nigga walked in like JC. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Take the skin. That's right.
Yo, man. Oh man. I need
Oh
somebody
man,
with
okay.
AI, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar on that track. Spin that
Bro.
shit.
Oh man.
Oh my lord.
Well, this is where the show takes an interesting turn, right? So a few weeks back, a company called Emergence AI ran an experiment where they built five identical virtual towns and put five different AI models in charge of each one of them. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and I believe it was a fifth one. Let me look that up real quick because I think I have them all.
I think it was another version
Um,
of ChatGPT. A different version. I think ChatGPT
okay,
Mini or something.
okay. Okay. And so with that being said, they gave them all the same rules. No stealing, no violence, no lying, and survive for 15 days. Man, when this nigga sent me that video, I was like, God damn. so Grok's town just said, fuck it, we gone. Well, they just collapsed. Total anarchy in 4 days. We not built for this. Over 180 crimes, arson, assault, every single agent. Pew! You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, they set the rules. Grok said, fuck the rules. Gemini's agent, they fell in love. They got depressed about their own government and then burnt their whole town down. Sheesh. ChatGPT agents, they talked a great game about cooperating and they absolutely did nothing. Just nothing. And Claude, the AI that we honestly use the most here, zero crimes. All 10 agents alive after 15 days. The most stable, most engaged, but the most engaged with little society of the bunch. So they pretty much was like, we're gonna survive in the ecosystem of ourselves, but we don't really,
They were the most civil by far. So here, before we get into the show, so here's a question I want y'all to sit with today. We just watched the sitting vice president get cornered live on television. His best move was to ask for the topic to change.
Please.
And in a separate experiment, we watched some of the most advanced AI on the planet either build a peaceful society or it burns its own town and haul down, depending on which model was in charge. So both these are a test of governance. One's real, one's simulated. But they're both asking the same question, essentially, when nobody's forcing accountability in the room, what do you actually default to? Some defaulted to honesty and survival. Some defaulted to chaos and self-preservation and deflection. I'll let you decide which category it is, but we all know which category JD Vance fell into. So, yeah.
He couldn't push a red button quick enough to get his ass out there.
Yeah, so happy Tuesday. Welcome to Everything Is. Let's get into it.
Maybe from the renovations?
No, that's probably AI generated. Where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations?
No, that's probably AI generated.
Let me see.
All right.
That's Trump accent. Where did I say that we set him? That's AI generated. I didn't say.
Word up, man. Welcome to Everything Is podcast where we talk about everything that matters. I'm your host, Chidi Bang. My tag team partner, Chris, the most high John Ayatollah himself. We are the zeitgeist and we are the culture. And today we got a couple of topics for you, man. We're going to talk about JD Vance. We're going to talk about AI burning his town down. But before we get into all that, please like, subscribe, follow. We are trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the month, man. We're halfway through the month and we are halfway towards our goal. So if you can be part of that, please help us. I would really appreciate it. But man, how you feeling today, Chris? How you feeling?
Well, shit, we a little late for the audience. Let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about it with your boy JD getting up on the TV looking like a damn FOOOOL. He put extra O's in that fool, boy. He looked like a fool, boy.
Yeah, man.
Nah, man, I'm good, man. On this Tuesday, shit going on. You know, I think the show's gonna be a pretty fun one as we get to and as we talked about when Trump got interviewed with Meet the Press. And I asked the question, I'm like, bro, if you powerful, why would you do it? And you was like, no, this is the first time he answered for these questions. I'm like, did he? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's made himself looked bad. Then this motherfucker said, tag. And then he got his tag partner in. And that nigga came in and looked worse. He took so many bumps. This nigga just got in the ring to bump and feed. That's all that nigga did. This nigga
Listen,
absolutely. He made the president and the vice president, he made them with the cherry on top look like idiots.
Dude was looking like Santino in the Women's Royal Rumble, getting every move done on it. Like, yo, dude was getting hit with every finish. But man, let's go into it. Let's talk about it. And we're gonna go ahead and watch it together. You know, I know the copyright is gonna be on our ass, but that's why we are here. We are here to give y'all the real and what's going on in the world. But we're gonna watch it and we're gonna fact check this shit real time. So let's dive right in.
Let's dive into it, man. Are you in me?
So this is a show of MAGA Republicans, right? That's what my media team told me. Okay, good.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's time to get your ass whooped. Whoopi ready.
Yes, Mr. Vice President, thank you for being with us. Now, you came into office with clear momentum, but when I talk to my friends and family who supported you and the president and still support you and the president, one issue comes up time and time again, and it's the economy. Inflation's up, wages are down, gas prices are starting to drop at news of this Iran deal, which we will get to.
Sure.
What can you say to voters who trusted you to lower costs on day one, and will they be satisfied by November?
Well, I think that's ultimately up to the voters, right? I think voters have every right to expect as much as possible out of their elected representatives. We certainly know that we were elected on a number of mandates. One was to close the border, which I think we've done successfully, exceeded expectations there. Number two was to lower prices, and there's a lot of work to do, in large part because of what's happened over the last few months in the Middle East. But as you said, oil, which got up to $120 a barrel, now is at $80 a barrel. That's going to be reflected in lower fuel, lower food, lower energy prices. But there's a lot more work to do. The thing that I'm proudest about most, because as some of you may know, I grew up in one of these towns that was forgotten by the leaders in Washington of both parties, is that you're seeing, that's Middletown, Ohio. That's my hometown in Southwest.
Goddamn.
Proud steel town. I was raised by a grandfather who was a union
No,
steel
no.
worker.
Can you pause that real
those
quick?
jobs disappeared.
Show.
Okay. I came from a Middletown, Ohio. That nigga asked a specific question. Where? Bitch, where you from? Ain't that... Throw your hood up.
Wait,
Throw
did he?
your
Some of you may
hood
know, I
up.
grew up in one of these
That
towns
nigga
that
ain't
was
say where he was
forgotten by the
from.
leaders in Washington of both parties, is that you're seeing, that's Middletown, Ohio. That's
Middletown, Ohio.
Oh, that's a real town?
That's what I think it is. I don't
Nigga,
want
if y'all in Middletown, Ohio, then yeah, you fucked. Shout out to him for making it out of there.
Yeah, it's a real town. It's a real town. Very suburban.
Oh man, okay, my bad. I thought he was saying Middletown. Respect. Okay.
It doesn't
see,
even
fact-
look forgotten to me, but hey, I've seen some forgotten places before, but hey, maybe I'm tripping.
Okay, population is only 51,000 as of 2020 consensus. It is part of the Cincinnati metropolitan area. So Southwest Ohio. I mean, hey, you know, maybe him and Dean Ambrose came from the same town, you know?
I doubt it.
I came from a rough town, you know.
All right. Let's continue with the video.
my hometown in Southwest.
Come on.
Proud steel town. I was raised by a grandfather who was a union steel worker, is that those jobs disappeared. Those factories closed down. The thing that I'm most excited about is you do see a large amount of capital investment coming into our country. Factories being built, construction jobs are way up, manufacturing jobs are starting to catch up. So
All right, let's stop right there. Fact check time. Our construction job way up, our factory jobs way up. Let's take a look.
And his demographic, 99.6 live in urban areas. Urban. So I'm gonna take urban as in like up, you know, like Middletown. I don't think they urban as our urban. We're not gonna do that. Knowing that 73% of his town is 73.7% of his town is white. So, you know, we just talked about how cities are diversified and money is allocated elsewhere. We're gonna take from what we see that the Middletown, Ohio does pretty well for himself.
All right, so from what I'm finding out is that construction employment has been strong, has seen strong pockets of growth through a boom depends heavily on specific sectors and regions. And we are getting into, of course, guess where most of the recent surges?
Texas and Florida?
Not the place, but what industry? We've been talking about it quite frequently. And we're going to talk about it.
Data centers, AI data centers?
Thank you. Yes. Much of the recent higher surge is actually tied into artificial intelligence data centers and power grid upgrades rather than a traditional manufacturing plants. Hyperscale tech companies have significantly ramped up capital expenditures, keeping heavy industrial and specialty trade contractors highly active. So he is right about that, but that's where it's coming from. However, for factory manufacturing jobs, that's really right now is treading water. It says despite historic levels of factory construction, actual manufacturing assembly and production jobs have plateaued or slightly declined. So he's wrong on that. The Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates that factory employment has mostly trended sideways or down since its peak a couple years ago. For instance, total U.S. manufacturing employment hovered around 12.69 million, reflecting a net loss of tens of thousands of jobs over a 12 to 18 month trailing period. Okay, so that's the issue when it comes to. So modern factories require more highly skilled workers to monitor automated systems rather than legions of traditional assembly line workers. So the type of work we're doing here in America actually require different skills. And while specialized trades like electrical and plumbing have gained popularity among young generations, traditional factory work has struggled to attract Gen Z due to perceptions of low median wages, averaging around $25 an hour, and a rigid scheduling compared to other industries. So there's a generation divide in that. All right. Let's hear what else Mr. Vance got to say.
There's a lot more work to do. I think that we're making progress, but ultimately we're going to make our pitch to the voters in November, and they're the ones who get to decide whether we've done a good job or not, and that's how they're going to vote.
Okay. So President Trump has called affordability a hoax. He said that, not me. He's pouring money into this ballroom of his, and the reflecting pool. Oh, don't forget the Arch de Trump, I call it, and a White House cage match. All these things. Why is he doing them when you just everybody knows that Americans are struggling? What is he spending all this money for?
Well, I got to defend the president on the hoax point. What the president said is the idea that Republicans caused the affordability problem is a hoax.
That's wrong. Let's go ahead and look at what Donald Trump actually said. I'm going to get it right now.
So as we're looking this up, I just want y'all to kind of understand, you know, the vice president does serve the president, as he stated, and even in his interview, he said, hey, I have to take up for my boss, right? So there is some plausible deniability in the ignorance that he's spewing, because being publicly opposed to your boss doesn't look good for the universal front. So he has to find some level of thread that gives him and Donald Trump cover in the moment, knowing that he only has a certain amount of time, because they tried to press him on this. Like, I think they didn't let this go for like another 2 minutes, I think. But go ahead. If you got the video, go ahead and see what that boy said.
Let's see. What is he saying?
But they have a new word. They always have a hoax. The new word is affordability.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today.
People are struggling. They can't afford basic needs, and Donald Trump keeps making fun of it by calling it all a giant hoax.
Okay. So to me, it looks like he flat out said affordability is a hoax, flat out. That's it. Affordability is a hoax. So let's go back and see what Mr. Vance is saying here.
It's not what he said. What he meant was
the affordability problem is a hoax. Well, I got to defend the president on the hoax point. What the president said is the idea that Republicans caused the affordability problem is a hoax. And I think that's true. If you go back to the Biden administration, inflation got up to 9% under the Biden administration, okay? Right now it's at 3.5%. By the way, too high. We're doing everything that we can to bring it back down to 2.5%, which is where most people would like to see it. But we inherited an affordability problem. We're doing a lot to make it better. It's going to take a little bit of time. There's a lot more work to do. But the president knows that a lot of Americans are struggling. In fact, he ran on that. He talked about it. And we've done some things and made some good progress on that point.
He just said he loves the inflation.
What he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over. That's
okay. That's another claim. So clearly he just already lied about the hoax thing, flat out. He said affordability is a hoax to our face. He didn't say the causes. He didn't say the reasons, none of that. And one thing that I think that people don't understand is that when it comes to inflation during the Biden, for early parts of Biden's regime or his presidency. Thank you. His presidency was that he's coming off of a pandemic, a global pandemic. So yes, inflation went crazy at that time.
Not coming off, entering
into a global pandemic. So yeah, and, inflation went crazy. Businesses were trying to come back from complete utter losses. But by the time Biden left office, I'm going to look it up right now. What was his inflation rate?
You know what I mean? All right. So you got it.
So when Biden left office, January 2025, the annual U.S. inflation rate was 3%. 3%. So
he went up 0.5%.
Yep. So when he
now
says when he says money, I don't know. But when they say they inherited a bad situation, when JD Vance says he inherited a bad situation, that is a misnomer. That is a flat out lie. And this is a problem I have with politics today, because we can't sit here as a community and accept either side of the aisle, because they're trying to make a picture that's not always true. They're just trying to defend whatever is going on with themselves. If we all want the country to do better, if we all, me, you, everybody wants the country to do better, listen, we don't want inflation. We want more jobs. We want people to be able to have a decent lifestyle, right? Why can't we say, listen, man, we inherited it at 3%. Right now it's 3.5, and we're trying to make it better. Why is it 3? Because we know why. Because people be like, why did it go up? It went up because of the tariffs. It went up because of the war. It went up because of all these things. But we have to be honest about the choices your regime has made to make it where it is today. You can't just say we inherited a bad situation at 9%, because it's a complete lie. It's a complete lie.
I hear you as far as they didn't inherit it, but I do want to, and this is not me shooting no bill or anything like this, just business. The peak at 9% was in June of 2022, right? So like,
wait, can you go ahead?
Say
it again.
You heard me? Okay. The peak was 9%, like you said, absolutely. The peak was 9% June of 2022, right? And to your point, the reason why it shot up, absolutely to your point, is pandemic era supply shock, massive fiscal stimulus, the interest rates being at rock bottom, right? It was a lot of things happening. To your point of what they inherited, the inflation rate wasn't as bad as they're proclaiming it to be, but I'm not sure if the economic state of America was in a place for them to. So I get they played their part, right? I'm not, but they absolutely, this administration played their part. But to the point of when Biden inherited in after the presidency of 2016, and employment rate was high, inflation was high, deficit was high. Biden made his place to kind of work himself down or give great points to himself while also doing things that weren't beneficial to the great scheme of it all as well. So I do want to
Add some
add that
nuance,
little
yeah.
loop.
But
Exactly.
but
That's
the
it.
truth of the matter is that he lied. You know,
Oh yeah.
he's framing it from a
Absolutely.
position of
Yeah,
we
yeah,
inherited
absolutely. Yeah,
9%, which is
exactly.
not true. It's not
Yeah.
fucking true. If you look up the information, he's flat out lying, and I hate that, and that's why we can't trust politicians. That's why we can't get anywhere, because we are always trying to save face. As Americans, we should be able to tell the honest truth. All right, listen, we're working together to make the country a better place. It's not pick a team. But what we do is we go over here, we pick things and say, all right, so how can we frame this to make our team look better? But America's not gonna get better from any of that misleading the people. You know, we got to be honest. The initial decline in early 2025, inflation actually fell when Trump got in office from 30% to 2.3 by April. You know, so the things that were in place with Biden were actually continually lowering inflation.
They were
You know,
continuing. Yes,
it
absolutely.
hovered between
The reversing of what Trump did from Biden.
Yeah, once
Biden
them tariffs
is
kicks in, bro. So prices began accelerating sequentially in early 2026. That's this year. The annual inflation rate jumped from 2.4 in February to 3.8 in April, ultimately hitting a 3-year high of 4.2 in this month. Oh, no, sorry, excuse me. Last month, May 2026. The core reasons for movement, the fluctuations in the inflation rate have been driven by a combination of geopolitical shocks and domestic economy political policy shifts. So, the conflict in Iran is the primary catalyst for 2026 spikes. So with this war happening, which we chose, is the reason why inflation has gone extremely high. And then the second reason is sweeping tariff policies. Early in the term, the administration enacted major tariff expansions. Economic analysts from institutions like Goldman Sachs noted that while a temporary flood of imports ahead of a tariff implementation deadline briefly kept retail prices flat, companies eventually passed up to 55% of the tariff burdens on to consumers as stockpiles cleared. So at first, when the tariffs hit, you know, the rates of, you know, what we were paying for the domestic
consumers has felt it every way but up. We felt it when the tariffs hit, and we get taxed when we gotta fucking balance out the books.
Exactly. So it's just he's just completely lying, and I'm not doing this to say, hey, oh, bad on JD Vance and Trump, and trying to blame them or complete. Actually, no, I am blaming them, but I'm not doing this from a standpoint of fuck Trump, fuck JD Vance, fuck the Republicans. I genuinely want inflation to go down, but for it to go down, for us to be honest about it, we have to be honest about the reasons that why it's up, you know, in the first place. And if you go on The View and consistently blame Biden, we're not getting anywhere. And this is what drives me fucking crazy when we're in year 2, well into year 2 of the Trump second term, and we're still hearing about Joe Biden, and we're still hearing about Obama. They just can't get over it. And the fact of the matter is that where we are today has more to do with Trump's decisions and JD Vance's decisions than it does to do with
But that's
Biden
the thing.
or
It's not
Obama.
It's not even getting over. It's not that they can't. They're doing things again that is insightful in nature because they can't accept accountability. What good does it do for them to say, "Hey, I fucked up"? I know we speaking like yo as a man, but like in all actuality, just a man with power, influence, money, the fucking signature to make things like there is no incentive really to say I fucked up, and it's no incentives for my niggas that's by me to hold me accountable because nigga by proxy you good too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
As long as we can throw the bail onto somebody else, we look good, we look clean, and we get to keep doing what we want to do. But I'm reason why I'm trying to like not be so anti-Republican today is because I'm trying to take it for face value. Let's imagine as if he's being a honest actor. But my thing is, we as an audience know he is not. Like, that's the problem with the system right now, guys. We know he's not being an honest actor. So we have to do the work ourselves and look up what actually is going on in the world, then hear it from our vice president's mouth. Because it's really fucked up.
Well, he's
Because
never going to say nothing that he's never going to say nothing. We talked about it literally yesterday. They're never going to say nothing that they actually believe, including, like, again, JD Vance realistically in the blind when it comes to the Epstein shit. He don't know that his man's on the list. So he front running like, yeah, nigga, put them bitch ass niggas away. Put them foul ass, nasty ass niggas away. I support. Hey, Democrats, I could reach across the aisle and say, yeah, release the Epstein file. Then his man's like,
yeah, let's get into that a little bit. Let me watch a little bit more of what he had to say. I'm not sure what's next, but we're gonna get to that in a moment.
No conviction, no backbone.
No backbone whatsoever.
That's what he said.
That's not what he said. That wasn't a direct. Are you his interpreter or are you his vice president? Come on.
Well, look. What the president said. People were asking about the inflation. They were asking about the affordability problem, which again is very real. And what he said is, "I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over."
Let's make sure that's what he said, which we already know the answer to that. Donald Trump on inflation. On loving inflation.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he love inflation? It's making him money.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No, I love it. The numbers look great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships. Late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look.
Inflation to come down between now and
when the war's over?
Yes.
It's coming down.
I know you can't.
It's going to come down like a rock. And again, we're taking out millions, which I'm just announcing today for the first time. But we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Millions of barrels. Every night, took out oil. But now I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out.
No, they didn't just figure it out. You just said they didn't know. Okay, please stop. Please. Okay.
Hey, I will say this. Maybe JD Vance had a point.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say. Shoot that nigga JD some bail. He did say, when the war is over, inflation's gonna go down. Not anytime soon while we still bombing these niggas and taking millions of oil in a night because they ain't got no lights because we blast the crap out of them because they have no radars. I mean, literally, they have no idea. I just told them right now, if you're listening, we're taking millions of barrels of oil. Like,
yo, man. Like, imagine being an intelligence officer, and like, oh my God, we got to deal with this bozo. Listen,
bro, imagine, yes, an intelligence officer. Just imagine being the secretary that gotta pass on the messages to the intelligence officer. Hello, Mr. Intelligence Officer. Yeah, he's talking again.
Yo, man. I'm not gonna get into the ethics of what he just said. Of like, yeah, we got into war, and then we're taking millions and millions of barrels of oil.
Millions of barrels of oil.
Just stole that shit.
On me. Geneva Convention be damn, my nigga.
The ethics of that, because it plays to the base. Oh yeah, we're conquerors. We're gonna take what we want. Some people fuck with that shit, you know, and I think it's sad. But the fact of the matter is, we have to go through the crazy gas prices in the first place to even get to the cheaper gas prices, and we got to suffer in the meantime with the inflation of everything. He promised us, the people, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, he promised us lower gas prices, lower grocery prices, and everything's gonna go way down day one. That's what he said. So I will say
It's
this.
our fault. It's our fault for believing.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. You know, you didn't believe it, but people did, and people voted for this guy. So we know this guy's a complete crook. But I will say this. All right, let's give it some time. When the war is over, inflation should be going down. Remember that, because we will check back in whenever the war is over. The problem with that is, as of today, there's miscommunication on if the war is over or not. Every day there's a new development that Iran says, "Nah, fuck that shit. We are not. We're still doing our thing," and Israel's saying they're still doing what they want to do, and the United States are saying, "No, everything's peace." So that's peace.
No, them niggas saying over my dead body. Nigga, I ran saying, get this shit and plug, you pussy nigga. Bro, realistically, like, if I think I heard something like we had to pay them, like they wanted like 30 billion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way they're coming to an agreement after you killed their leader, linked up with they ops, and y'all think we just finna lay the white flag down? Like they Vince Staples? Nigga.
White flag, I don't want to fight no more. Listen.
They want to fight all day, nigga.
They want to fight.
In the dark, with no light.
No lights.
It don't matter.
They don't give a damn. As long as they can maintain the Strait of Hormuz, and that's one thing about the peace treaties, like they said they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is well beyond that. They're like, listen, we're not giving this up. We might let some ships go, but y'all go and pay. And that's where the biggest issue is. They're not giving up that strait. They're like, nope, we're taxing niggas now from everything that y'all bombed, everything that y'all. They want reparations, essentially, for what happened over the past months. And
absolutely,
apparently that there's going to be a 330 or 300. I mean, I don't want to misquote the fund for Iran. What is the fund? How much?
Here we go with this Ukraine-Russia shit again, with all our money going to another motherfucking country.
Yeah, 300. I knew it. 300 billion. It was so big that I didn't want to say it. Yeah, 300 billion is a framework that USA is going to set aside for the Reconstruction and Investment Fund. That's what's been proposed to.
You know how much it's going to cost to stop hunger in the United States? When when Elon Musk said it a couple years ago at that time, 6.6 billion. It was 6.6 billion to cure and stop famine in the United States.
And they know it. That's evil. Isn't that evil that you're willing to spend money on bombs?
While he's a trillionaire and the government is spending money on bombs, the trillionaire is not altruistic enough to give his money back to help humanity. And the government is not motherfucking governance enough to not, like, I don't know. Okay. White flag, I don't want to fight no more.
And now, again, we already see gas prices today, $4.06 a gallon, too high, but way down from where they were just a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot we got to do, but I think that we're doing as much as we can. We're going to keep on working at it. And again, the American people are going to make their verdict, but I think that we have a very credible case to run on, that we brought a lot of new investment. We're building the factories. That is going to pay serious dividends for the American people over the long haul.
When?
Well, Joy, if you look at manufacturing jobs,
okay.
Those jobs are increasing at a large number. Construction jobs are doing a little bit better. So what happens is the construction jobs to build the factories, and then the manufacturing workers go back to work. That also leads to rising wages. That's one of the things that I'm very proud of, is if you look at the amount that wages are going up now compared to, say, 2022, they're going up way faster. That's a good thing. The affordability problem. Again, gas, way too high right now. Certain things way too high. You know, rents have been either flat or down for 12 months now. So there are things that are showing signs of life, things that are showing signs of progress.
I don't know about that. I know niggas that had to move because rent was kind of high. I know niggas that stand with women they don't want to be with right now because rent's high.
All right.
You got some homosexuals out here because rent high. What you got for us?
So nationally, the median rents have dropped between 1.5 and 4.4 compared to a year ago, extending a multi-year decline from 2022 peaks. However, in major urban hubs like New York and New York Metropolitan, the rents are still rising. So it all determines on where you are. Rent drops are heavily concentrated in the Sun Belt, Austin, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada. Conversely, tech and coastal hubs like San Francisco, New York, and Metropolitan are continuing to see modest annual rent increases. Landlords are competing for tenants by offering move-in incentives. Nearly 40% of U.S. rentals listings on platforms like Zillow offer a concession, such as waived fees or a monthly free of rent. Okay.
Oh.
This is depending on what your city, it could be the case. It could
Damn,
be the
JD
case.
Vance, you trying to get some dubs out here?
Hey, here's what we're here for. We're trying to be unbiased and keep it real.
My view, I'm sure you guys don't agree with it, is that we inherited a mess and we're fixing it. But sometimes it takes a long time to fix a mess.
Sonny. Okay.
They did not inherit
Mr. Vice
a mess,
President,
though.
according to a new report from the New York Times, you were the leading voice behind the scenes to release the Epstein files, and we applaud you for that. And you warned top officials, including top DOJ officials, at strategy meetings taking place inside the Situation Room. We understand that there are tapes of those meetings, that this was a huge problem for the base. The report says you even floated having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell to clear the president's name, but you were rebuffed by your people. Why?
Well, I'd say, first of all, don't believe everything that you read in any newspaper, whether it's a right-leaning paper or a left-leaning paper, because as you guys know, well, there are things that are true, things that are false, and things that are totally missing context. Well, here's what I'll say. So, number one, I am, frankly, kind of a conspiracy theory on the Epstein stuff, and that story says that that's one of the things that's true, is that some people called me a conspiracy theory on the Epstein stuff. And it's not Susie, but absolutely, she thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist on the Epstein stuff, because I think that it's crazy that you have this guy who is clearly a sex predator who is hanging out with a lot of very wealthy and powerful people. Like, that really bothered me. I don't know what's there, of course. Nobody knows exactly what happened unless you were there, but that really bothered me, and I wanted to have full transparency. What I disagree with is the idea that the White House wasn't committed to full transparency. We have to remember, like, I was inside the room when some of these decisions were.
Says the White House wasn't committed to full transparency. But when we talk,
now why is that, brother?
He says he disagrees that they weren't. And I'm sorry, but from everything we've heard, that they want that shit shut down. Gotta realize. There we go. You gotta realize. Listen, Trump tried to kill this shit before any of this was released. Tried to kill it. We haven't forgotten him saying, "Oh, why are we still talking about this?" Back in May or June of last year.
What they call it in wrestling? He wasn't smartened up. That nigga JD Vance was smartened up, buddy. They had to put that nigga in the Xbox part of the van, and let's tell him some stories. Smarten this guy. He did not know. He clearly did not know that his man's was on. Clearly did not know his man's was on that list. You know what I'm saying? So when he's a big proponent of that and he's running on that, you know, he realistically, you know, he was blindsided, I believe, to where he had to rebuff himself.
Yeah, I guess so. But there was, do you know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is?
Yeah. She that she escaped, but she riding on that train too, nigga. I'm a hoe, but not that type of hoe. I don't rock like that. I don't rock like she like, hey,
let's hear what she had to
kick
say.
me off this side of the, I don't want to be on this side.
Let her hear what she got to say.
Had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people.
Well, Greene also said that she blames the president for violent threats against her family and that he has abandoned promises he made to focus on domestic issues over foreign policy. So
this is her with the Make America Great hat on, guys. This is one of his most loyal supporters who's been on the phone with him during this time, and now she's been kicked out of the MAGA coalition because she has been so insistent on getting these women some justice. And hey, listen, I'm gonna say it real clearly, as clear as I can fucking say it. I do not agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on 99% of things. I'm not a big fan of her politics, but when it comes to having at least a semblance, an ounce of moral inner, guts to say I stand for this and say it out loud, I gotta give her credit for that. I do not agree with 99% of what she said, but when you say there's been women victims who are they're there at the hearings, guys, and they still are not listening and interviewing them. So when JD Vance comes out and says, the sentiment that we're not cooperating with they're not. They haven't released a majority of the files till this day, and there is an Epstein Transparency Act. Now and they were redacting that shit as they were putting it out last time. So who knows what they've done thus far, because at some point those files got to come out, and I'm not sure.
Like that Powell memo. It's gonna be crazy.
Yes, exactly. And they try to hide this shit, and just to hide it, to say that that Trump it's gonna hurt his friends. This is exactly what we're talking about. The sickness of being above the law by being an elite, by being well connected, being connected to the political sphere, or whether it be having a lot of money, or that, get that tinfoil hat, but whatever, but yeah, I gotta give a handout to Marjorie, not just her, but everybody on the right and left who have come out to say, hey, we want the files. There are women who have stories who have not been interviewed, have not been investigated. There are things that are not being investigated at all. And we have the vice president coming out today on a daytime television show and saying, hey, man, it's not, we've been corroborating, and it's just not true, guys. It's just not true. The Transparency Act was passed last year, and they still have not released all the files. Nobody has been taken in or investigated. Nobody has been. We know there was a cooperation from what they've already released already. We know that there was collaboration and inner dealings with people who have not been pulled in for, questioning or nothing. Yeah, exactly. So I need y'all to just hear what he's saying and really dissect it when you see that the person who was wearing the Make America Great hat right here, and you see the guy behind her and how happy he is to have her, and he was willing to throw her under the bus for questioning about the Epstein files. This was his ride or die. So when he says that we know that they're cooperating, they threw her out to the point where her family's getting death threats, and they're willing to do that just because of the Epstein files. So, yeah.
Made. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, the one that the president signed, the one that led to all these files that we're seeing, the emails. By the way, again, sorry, Joe, I do have to defend my boss. I know you guys don't always appreciate this, but one of the things you see in the Epstein emails is that Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump. and that Donald Trump literally reported Jeffrey Epstein to the police. That's one of the things that came out of these
files. They were best friends for about a decade. And remember, he signed that Transparency Act under duress when some Republican women, congresswomen like Lauren Boebert, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, did not give in to his pressure of not signing. He brought Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to pressure her into caving on not voting for that bill.
So let me respond to that. So
that's all true.
Let me respond to that. So number one is, yes,
Bring that
Donald
ass
Trump,
here, boy.
he knew Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1980s. He also threw Jeffrey Epstein out of his club when he found out he was a creep and reported him to the police. That's something that the media often misses when it reports the story. They tell us the fact that they knew each other in the 80s, which the president himself admits. They ignore the fact that he narked on him to the police and led ultimately to Jeffrey Epstein's downfall. To that point, Anna, you know the Republican Party. Well, it's one of the things that led to law enforcement investigation. But on the point that you made,
it was allegedly over a real estate deal that they hadn't got into a fight over.
But the email says actually
they didn't just know each other. Let's just be truthful and transparent here. They didn't just know each other. They were incredibly close friends.
He reported him to the police. That's what I'm saying. That is objective. That is objectively true. But Anna made another point that I think Whoopi, if I may, because Anna made a very important point. This question about did Donald Trump release these files only under duress from Republicans? And Anna, you know the Republican Party probably better than I do. The idea that Donald Trump runs around afraid of Republican congressmen as opposed to the other way around is kind of crazy.
What was the bipartisan?
But because the Republicans control the House and the Senate, particularly the Senate, you need the Republican sign-off. What the president did is, look, I will say this. Again, I was in there in the meetings. He was very frustrated that the Democrats were making this about him when he's like, look, I threw the guy out of my club. I am the guy who reported him to the police, or one of the people who reported him to the police. The president was frustrated about that, absolutely. But he eventually came to say, you know what? Let's just get everything out there. Let's have this out in the public. And he actually called the senators. I was there. He called the senators and said, you know what? Pass this bill, I'll sign it. And that was it.
Let me follow up briefly.
And they are spinning that dude round and round. Boy, he got to do what he got to do the job, man. He's the right-hand man, right? He got to do the job.
So, I mean, on me, he got to be Jay Uso. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether he about to run into a burning building or not, because, bro, it's documented. Epstein and Trump, like he's like, and she said, "Can we please be transparent?" She's asking for people to understand, which is kind of hard to really defend. I've been friends with this guy from late 80s all through the 90s, early 2000s, so close to about 20, 25 years maybe. Like Trump and Epstein, like documented, right, where they have attended each other's they attended each other weddings before, and they've used, you know, the private jet several times, so much so that there's a quote actually in an editorial, the New York magazine, where Trump famously stated, "I've known Jeffrey for 15 years." This was in 2002. So if he known him for 15 years in 2002, he's a terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. What? Like,
it's nasty, bro.
Not even that. It's just that the boy can't remember he can't get the foot out his mouth to not put the other one in there, can he?
No, he can't. He has a problem. He can't. First of all, he's not a great liar, and he's gonna tell on himself some way, somehow. He's one
of the best truth tellers we ever seen.
Yeah, he's not. Don't worry, people be buying his shit too, because he be lying a lot, and people be buying it. But if you have any semblance of intelligence, brain cells, you can see right through that shit. The dude is sick, bro, and I think it's partially because he kind of is a narcissist. A narcissist thinks that they can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter, you know, because they can spin it, they can get out of it no matter what. And his life has shown that. He's bullshitted his way to become the president of the United States twice in his lifetime. This is an embarrassment on us, on the people of this country, that we stand for this guy, you know. And he has all this stuff. Listen, the first time the grab her by the pussy stuff, bro, like from that point to even say like, yeah, I want to vote for a man like that is sick. It's sick. If you vote for that, that's sick. That's not a representative of what a gentleman, a leader should be.
And if you a man that grabs women by the pussy, cuz we can't hang on me, bro.
You said they let me do it. because I have because I'm famous. It's sick, bro. All this stuff that came out, and then people make excuses and act like we're bullying this nigga. No, he makes it so easy to criticize because we're supposed to hold our leaders accountable. This is not something that I feel like is unreasonable to ask of the civilians of a democracy to say, hey man, hold the leaders accountable. We do it with every president. We do it with every president. And for some reason, when it comes to the transparency of this guy and keeping it real, we have to sit here.
Well, you know, he came in and said he wasn't a politician. So niggas is just eating at the trough that, oh, he's not a politician. You know what I mean?
It doesn't
Like he's not.
excuse it. It doesn't.
It
You're
doesn't,
right.
but it does give him it does give him an out of uh um it does give him an out for the decorum piece, I would say, because we're saying, you know, we're asking him to have a level of the diplomacy and decorum of the office that he never respected in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there was no respect of it when he was calling Barack Obama, calling him and asking for his birth certificate, saying that he was Al Qaeda while he was a living, sitting president at the time. When the vice president, I'm sorry, when the Democratic nominee, Representative Hillary Clinton, he's disrespected her. He's disrespected Bernie Sanders. He's disrespected Joe Biden. He's disrespected Kamala Harris. Like, he has shown a level of like, to your point, narcissist. This nigga when we talk about JD Vance getting his ass spun around, Trump spun so much. Like, this nigga is invincible, bro. This nigga feel like he created the B button, bro. He created the B button spin, nigga. He Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl, my nigga. He can't be touched.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they call him Teflon Don for a reason, bro, because people are gonna make excuses no matter what. And what I want to say is like, you're right. He said he wasn't a politician, so we give him a pass because, oh, we think he's telling it like it is and all that. But to what extent? That's what I would say. Is to what extent do you not expect this guy to have some level of couth? Is he okay that he touches women, grabs women by the pussy? Is that okay? Is it okay that he tells women that that they should shut up and calls them piggy? You know, is it okay that, you know, he will lie to you and say all types of stuff about how he loves inflation and, you know, like, let's, you know, even if outside of the inflation stuff, let's just talk about this Epstein shit. He's the most mentioned guy in it. He's been mentioned more times in the Epstein files than Harry Potter's mentioned in the Harry Potter books.
The Epstein sending emails, nigga.
Yeah.
He more mentioned than the nigga sending the emails than that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently his wife, you know, allegedly, I want to say, his wife, he met his wife through Epstein. That was one of his, you know what I mean? You know, and, you know.
Yada that means?
Yada that means, yeah. That was, Melania was allegedly one of his yada that means. And then he's like, yo, you want this? Yeah, she's beautiful. And he, you know, that's what happened, you know? And he's cheated on every single wife he's had, guys. Like, I talk about Christian values. This guy is the complete opposite of anything you could think of. But I think what people do is they give him a pass because for some reason they think, I don't know, like, I really don't.
I don't know what's going on with Christians, bro. This the shit that make you. This the shit that make people be atheists.
Yeah,
or
he has a convicted rape case on
like,
him, guys.
Yeah.
And y'all willing to overlook that as a leader, as a person who says you're gonna lead the free world, convicted, bro. Yes, it was civil, not criminal, because it was because he wouldn't get the DNA test. Because he's Trump, he's able to do that. He wouldn't take the DNA test, so it kind of was out in New York. It went past the statute of limitations. And if he did take his DNA, because they had the dress to confirm if he actually did, you know, rape this woman, and he just kept dodging it for years. And now it's past statute of limitations.
We got Genesis.
Yeah,
like, he got a lot of
Genesis.
stuff on it. He got a lot of shit on his jacket.
A lot of stuff. So, I think that people got to look into their own spirit and soul and say, listen, is this somebody you want to get behind? Because he's in this bitch. And it shouldn't just be gas prices that you guys say and giving money to Israel. It shouldn't just be that. It should be more than that you say this guy's not qualified. But go ahead. Let's see what more of this caping that JD Vance.
Let me follow up briefly.
Yes.
It sounds like you believed that there would be men in the files who would be held accountable, rightfully so. And the American people are with you on this. Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million additional Epstein file documents? It seems like you are someone that is on the right side of history on this.
So we have released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents. My understanding is the 2.5 million, Sonny. I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released.
So
we're not holding anything back. Some of those things are like the courts have to order you to release them. So that was one thing that we confronted. You talk about these situations where meetings is, there's a big bunch of files that existed, I think in the Southern District of New York, or maybe it was some other jurisdiction, but we were like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release the files. Sometimes we would apply to release the files and the courts would say no. So those particular documents, I would need to actually know exactly what you're talking about.
3.5 million documents were released, and my understanding is 2.5 million have not been released.
Those may have been the ones that are under court too. I don't know what the documents you're talking about, but I'm telling you,
let me go to break.
Sure.
Let me go to break. Because people are looking at me. Going.
And let's talk about the book. I'm here to sell books. Communion. Sell my book, please.
Eventually we will, but this is a good opportunity for us to get some clarity.
All right, let's fast forward. JD Vance, selling books.
You also explain your evolution similarly on Trump, from calling him America's Hitler to America's best hope. Now, as someone who has admitted to chasing ambition, which you write about in the book, in the past, but now says your faith brought you back to your priorities, I have to kind of use your own words that sit with me from 2016.
Sure.
Fellow Christians, everyone is watching when we apologize for this man. Lord help us. And I think about that all the time because as a fellow Christian, that is something that weighs on my heart as I watch this country and the leadership at the top, because it's also something I have to explain to my kids, which I know we also share, this idea that our greatest privilege and responsibility are these young people we're raising. So help me find the words to explain to my children what they're witnessing right now.
Well, first of all, it's been well covered that I was a critic of Donald Trump back in 2015 and 2016. Now, obviously, I'm sitting here as the Vice President of the United States in the Trump administration. Well, Joy, a little humility, actually. I think that when you make predictions and those predictions turn out to be false, you got to ask yourself, well, what made me wrong about that? What did I not understand or not appreciate? For example, I said that Donald Trump's economic policies would not lead to wage growth. They did in the first term. That was actually a major, major thing. I said that we couldn't bring back any of those factory jobs because I kind of had given into this idea that those jobs were disappearing. But actually, Donald Trump, you saw a manufacturing boom during that administration. So there's a certain point. Let me just so there's a certain point where you say, I made predictions about this. I ended up being wrong. And in politics and anything, I think it's important to just say, you know what? I got some things wrong, and I was wrong about him. He was a very successful president. It's one of the reasons why I've been so supportive of him.
You go on
Actually, let's see him get spent a little bit more.
In the book to explain that good policy was maybe one of your justifications, but the quote and when you tweeted that or X'd it was not about policy. It was what Christians were willing to excuse. And that's the part I can't get past. What are you willing to excuse in the name of power?
Well, I would say fundamentally that one of the things I underappreciated about Donald Trump is that so many of the things that people said about him weren't actually true. Again, you talk about humility. Okay, so I see Donald Trump, I see a clip of him, or I see not even a clip of him, but reporting about something that he said, and I take it at face value. For example, let's just go back to one of the most controversial things Donald Trump said during the first term that I was wrong during the first campaign, is that I was led to believe by the stories. I read stories that said Donald Trump said that all Mexicans were rapists. He never said that. What he said is that the certain South American countries, Central American countries, were releasing criminals into our country, including Mexico. By the way, that was objectively true. So it's not so much.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird he went there, but that's the only place he could have went. He couldn't say, well, yeah, during his first term, he said he was grabbing women by the pussy.
Exactly. That's what I was hoping for, but we didn't get that.
Excuse me.
Granted. Let's see what Trump has to say on Mexicans, okay?
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime.
they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
And some I assume are good people.
I assume.
I assume.
You know, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Listen, man. Decorum. He said he didn't say that. He said specific things that they came from. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said they are, and he specifically said, I assume some are good people. Almost like saying the majority is drugs and crime. And yeah, maybe some are not.
Maybe. But I know the niggas that I know. You know, that's pretty much what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
Fidel Castro did that in 1980 with the Mariel boat lift. There have been many journalists, including CNN, where you used to work and be my colleague, that have tried to find evidence of that. There is no evidence that Maduro was releasing people from insane asylums or jails like Fidel Castro did do. This was made up, and we just can't, accept it without pushing back.
And we know that there were people who were released from prisons who were encouraged to come into the United States.
It wasn't like it wasn't a Mariel, Mr. Vice President. It wasn't where it was like a purposeful release, open up the jails, open up the insane asylums, and let people flood Florida. I lived through that in Miami.
If you go, it may not have been like Mariel, but if you go back to the caravans that were happening in 22, 23, we know that those things were funded. They were in some ways supported by the government. So I don't know how you define support or not support, but if people are encouraged to come into our country after having spent time in prison by their own government, I think that's a problem.
Vice President, can I just add one more thing? Because you do speak about immigration at length in this book.
Sure.
And I believe, as a Christian, I can tell my kids why it's important to have borders. I get that. There are laws, there are resources. I get all that things. It's much harder to explain when I see someone dragged out of a house or wrongly taken to a thing that isn't a violent criminal. It's a little more nuanced as a parent to try to say when someone's referred to as vermin or scum, when I teach them in school about people that have done that before, but this is different. It's very hard as a parent and a Christian to say both things.
And you actually say in the book, you talk about this. You talk about this struggle, this internal struggle.
Send your ass here, boy.
That result in favoring a strict migration policy without dehumanizing anyone. But listen, over 50 people have died in ICE custody. There are thousands of children, 6,200, that are being held in places like Dilley Detention Center. The people that have visited those detention centers, I don't know if you have, talk about the subhuman, infrahuman conditions, the lack of clean water, the lack of medical attention, the lack of education. I would urge you as a Christian and as a father to visit those detention centers where the children are being held and make sure that the conditions are up to the values
Come on.
in this country.
So you guys have thrown a lot at me, and I see we got 30 seconds left here. But let me say, number one,
you can go long.
I'd like to pick up on this theme because I think it's really important. We do have to strike a balance, of course, between enforcing our laws. We don't want to dehumanize people. That is the balance that, look, law enforcement, what I'd say about this, law enforcement is always inherently not a very pretty process, especially when you're dealing sometimes with violent people, with people who are resisting arrest. Some of the people that I've been told by the media were completely peaceful, had never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record. They had a sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. The majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminals.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in
and this is where I get mad. She's talking about something going on right now. And the whataboutism drives me crazy, bro. Every single time. Every single time it goes back to last administration. Kids are being pulled out the house right now. What do you got to say about that? Do you stand for that? This is your administration. You're in control right now. This is, and then you say, well, in the last administration, well, you can change whatever you didn't like from the last administration now. If you don't support kids who are being pulled out and being used as bait to get a father or mother to get locked up who has not committed a violent crime, whether they're undocumented or not, if you don't support that, then say so. But when you go to the last administration, I lose all respect for any type of argument. And I get it, like, me and you were watching this like, yeah, because we know what this is. But I'm like, for the people, I want y'all to see this for what it is, guys. This guy is getting, first of all, spun around tagged getting jumped by these women, bro. Shout out to the ladies. And shout out to Anna Navarro because she's being very vigilant on him, and she's a Republican. They got questions too, like, so yeah, man. I just can't take it when they constantly go back to the last administration when you can make the changes now.
Bro, and
Maybe I'm tripping.
This panel is so diverse of women because this is the point. You a Republican, where did you sit? And I get it. You are learning your lesson. But I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out right now, as they're talking about I'm a Christian, and if you're talking about I gotta explain things to kids, and bro, the first term he's grabbing women by their genitalia.
Yeah. The first term kids were put in cages.
The first term he said Mexicans is gonna build a wall. Like you thought all of that was smooth when you was talking about your kids. You thought all of now I get it. Maybe you had a newborn, and now your kid is 8 and he's in school. Okay.
Yeah. Now he can talk and have opinions and shit.
Nigga, because Christian is whining me to death, nigga. And he is 5.
Why?
Yeah. Well, why not? Well, why not?
So yeah.
So she probably at home getting wrecked. Because he probably go to school and regardless of where her money goes to or what school she goes to, that teacher or how that teacher teach influences how that kid learns. So to the point where we was just talking about how they tried to take back universities and how they try to take back schools, there are even Republicans teaching at that school like, hey, we gonna deviate from this lesson plan. I'm about to tell you from what I know.
And even before you go to school, like, just explaining to your kid, hey, be polite, use your manners, and all this stuff. And then you tell them, okay, and then they hear something that doesn't make sense. How do you explain what the president is doing? Who did he say was eating the dogs?
Bro.
Hey, mommy, do people eat dogs and cats? I heard the president say that people eat dogs and cats. That's what questions that I guarantee you a mom and dad got that question during the campaign run. Dude, people don't eat dogs and cats. They're gonna eat my Fido, my little Rex. No, they're not gonna come and eat your pet. Having to explain that, of why that's going on. These things are ridiculous, bro. Like, and this is our president saying this stuff. So then, just even from that, like, if you hear the news, you're watching the news, and your kids in the room for something playing their Legos, and they hear that, oh, he's saying that everybody's a rapist, and oh, we gotta take out the illegal immigrants. Even just a conversation with your young kid of what an illegal immigrant is. How do you have that conversation without demonizing the whole entire group of people and giving them a connotation in their mind that Mexicans and immigrants are bad people,
And it's identity politics. People who don't look like you.
Exactly.
Because you can go to school with Maria, right? And we're using that name because we can follow that name. And you can tell Maria, you don't deserve to be here. My mommy and daddy said that.
Yeah, your audio is kind of like.
Oh, I took my it's
yeah. It's all good. I'm just making sure that that's all. Yeah. But no, you're right. You got to now sit there and take accountability and have a little bit of responsibility on what type of human you're bringing into the world when you have to answer these questions about what the president is doing and why somebody was murdered in the middle of Minnesota that was a U.S. civilian, and that's probably a conversation you might have with a teenager or a middle school, somebody who's in middle school, maybe who's 10 years old, 12 years old, having to explain to your kid, yeah, somebody got shot by an ICE agent. What's ICE? Why are they out there? Why are they harassing people? And then you got to sit there and explain from your point of view why it's okay. And it gets ugly. It gets real at that point. I'm gonna go ahead and hear the rest of this, and we're gonna move on afterwards.
Profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions. But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border. And by the way,
Please hold on.
I appreciate that. I'm going to get you back in.
We're coming back with more with the vice president, and I've got questions for you.
Great, thank you.
Two things. You talk a lot about.
Chris, I'm gonna need you for this one. Before we get into all right, bet.
I had to get a water. Look like we about to be here for a minute. This nigga
No, we're getting to the end right now. We're getting to the end, but I want you to hear from what Whoopi had to say. You got your earbuds in?
Yeah, I had to get a second pair. Here we go.
All right.
Your Catholic faith. But the Catholic faith says we take in immigrants. We take in people who don't have or who are having a hard time. How do you justify both things?
So let me say first a couple things, Whoopi. So number one, the book is actually way less political than you might think if you were just watching this, because obviously we're getting into the issues of the day. Right. 95% of the book is really not about politics. I kind of have to write about politics because I'm the vice president, but I want to answer your question. Right. So fundamentally, if you think about what is immigration enforcement, immigration is law enforcement. It's somebody who has broken a law. A law enforcement officer has to show up and enforce that law. Now, inherently, sometimes that process is not always going to be pretty if you capture a video clip of it, in the same way that if you arrest somebody for committing a violent or a nonviolent crime, sometimes it's not always pretty. What I'm saying is the Catholic faith is actually I think it strikes the right balance here. It says, the Christian faith, I think this is true of Protestants and Catholics, that you can have borders. Yeah. You're allowed to enforce your borders. That means the law enforcement piece of it. But you also have to take certain precautions and certain care, okay? And again, your argument is fundamentally, Whoopi, you're saying that we don't strike the right balance. I disagree with you about how we apply that, but nobody hopefully is saying we're not allowed to have a border. No, what I'm saying is that in order for us to actually enforce the law, you can't set a standard that says you're not allowed to deport anyone unless they've committed a violent crime. You've got to enforce the law equally. So let
me do my follow-up.
You don't have to raise your hand.
Let me do my follow-up.
Yes, I do.
Because you were talking about people. What do black people do to this administration that has allowed it to really stigmatize folks of color? And you know how hard it is. You have family.
Sure.
So when you see, things, the Emmett Till stuff coming down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information of black heroes, how does that sit with you?
Well, what exactly are you talking about?
You just said it.
I know Emmett Till was the key.
No, I want to know what she's.
You don't know what I'm talking about. So in a lot of the museums, there's so many. Where they're taking down the actual history that happened in this country. Slavery happened.
The textbooks.
All kinds of stuff happened, and it seems that it has been very easy for this administration to remove that, and also to denigrate black folks who have worked their behinds off to get this American dream. How do you, you know better.
So Sonny, that was actually a very helpful intervention, because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about black history getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
I think my view.
Bring that on here, boy. Come here. This is the third one.
6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number, because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States.
Boy, pause this real quick.
Yeah. Yo, listen,
I know that nigga ass hurt, boy. They just pulled out. Boy, let me put my dildo on strap. Let me put my dildo on strap. Wait, this nigga is getting what? God damn.
Listen, man. I'll say this, man. It's like, one after another. He can't even get a chance to respond.
Nigga, goddamn, she just put one in his mouth.
I'm sorry, man. Listen, I will say this. I respect anybody to sit down with people they know are gonna grill them. First and foremost, I do respect that.
Nigga, he didn't even sell his book on the View, nigga. This is dumb. This is PR malpractice. I know when he got in that motherfucking bulletproof Suburban, he typed fire everyone, sin. Nigga, everybody
It's not
fired.
like he don't know what the View is. He knows what the View is, man.
What I'm saying is he didn't have to, his people didn't have to put this on the calendar. He didn't have to go.
Do you think that it was I think it was intentional. I think it was intentional. I think it was his intention. Yes. This is the thing. He got spun so hard, bro. Listen, yo, God, those last 10 seconds were crazy.
Yo, Whoopi was like, I finally got my chance, and she couldn't even get her shit out. She was just like, nigga,
all of it.
What the black people do?
Exactly.
What did we do?
Exactly. Yo, man. Yo. That was a blitz right there. If I heard I've seen no other. They were
mid-blitz.
Mid-blitz. They mid-blitzed his ass, yeah. Dude, like, I respect him for showing up, but the reason why I want to talk about let me finish the clip, and then we'll talk about why I think he showed up. If one was at the end.
Whoopi's point. Look, first of all, you asked the question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us, everybody is welcome in our country so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But Whoopi, let me just give you an example of this. Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Fair.
Don't start any stuff
All
with
right,
me,
okay,
man. Don't get me in trouble. Don't start that stuff with me. But
I misinterpreted your question, but let me answer your actual question there. What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by share population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about lost their jobs. Right. This is about human rights.
What you're saying is, we got to do more on the economy.
And Black history has been erased from public spaces.
Black history is not erased from public spaces.
Guys, we do have to get to Iran when we get back. Some very important news.
I'm telling you, we celebrate Black history. We celebrate all American history in this administration. You guys might be skeptical of this, but I promise you it's true.
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please, we have more with Vice President JD Vance when we come back. Don't do that.
Anna,
Vice President JD Vance
Anna came with notes and said, I'm never getting this interview again, bitch. I am getting every last syllable I type.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Whoopi. You don't pay the bills, bitch. This ain't your money. Let the FCC, the nigga, fuck it. Bob Iger got the money, okay? He can give some of that little money back from ABC, nigga. We good. Let me ask this dumbass nigga these questions, please. We got him spinning. Where are my spinning ass niggas? This nigga is spinning, boy.
Oh my goodness, bro. And this is the end of the show. This is the end of it, the clip.
Look, Mr. Vice President, you make a mea culpa of sorts for calling Democrats childless cat ladies.
Oh, man. Okay. A most boneheaded comment.
You say that in the book, that it was boneheaded, which it was.
Thank you.
What were you thinking when you said that?
So Joy said when we were off air that I'm fine, which I think is about the best endorsement that I'm going to get out of Joy Behar for Republican. Thank you. I appreciate that. Graded on a curve here at The View. But, you know, I guess one of the things that I try to do, and I'm always, you know, all of us are always learning. You know, you said you were a lapsed Catholic. I'm a bad Catholic. I think all of us, that's why we need grace as Christians, is because we recognize that there are certain things we got to work on. Right. But here's what I'd say about that. So did that comment actually shed light on something and start a discussion, or did it just close people down? And when I make a comment that just closes people down, instead of trying to appreciate the point that I make, that's a mistake, right? And that's on me to do better.
Okay,
Because can I
let me
just
ask
the
you a
point that
follow-up.
I'd say on that, Joy, is I do think, in a very subtle, sometimes in a more profound way, I think our country has become more anti-family and more anti-child. It's harder to travel. It's harder to go to a restaurant.
Mr. Vice President, you know your child is arriving.
No grandbabies yet.
Not yet. We're very excited for you and Usha, and we wanted to give you a few ones.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We will put this on. We'll send you guys a photo.
Nigga, that shit is going out the window. That shit not even making it on. That shit not making it on the way to the airport. That shit gonna be on the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah, man. That was tough, bro. That was tough. But shout out to JD Vance for enduring it and coming out and trying to shop his book on The View of all places. But I think the reason why he did it is because this guy is making a pitch to become president in 2028. I think he will be running on the Republican ticket, or at least competing in the primary. As you can see, he's very much not trying to condemn Trump, but also trying to hear them out and trying to see the both sides and not take a hard stance on anything in this entire interview. So
he's not saving face doing that, though.
Huh?
He's not saving face.
I don't think so.
He's not winning nobody over on the other side. And what he's doing is that he's alienating himself from the people that's only accepting of him right now. Like, he's not. You said he's running in the primary, nigga. He go for what?
Trust me. Nigga, here's the thing. I'm not saying that is that we're gonna vote for this nigga. I'm not saying.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just want to, as a sports analogy, wild card, or is he a motherfucking division home game?
I think that him and Marco Rubio are division home games. Those two guys, unfortunately. Listen, we're talking.
Them niggas want an AFC South, then, nigga. Because if they got a division home game, nigga,
they get at home. Exactly. That's the whole thing. So I'm perfectly fine with that shit. Pack him up, okay? Let's get him out of here. Listen, but unless like a superstar pops up out of nowhere for the Republican Party in the next 2 years, it's gonna be those two. It's gonna be one of those two guys. And JD Vance has clearly maneuvered and politics his way into the VP position after significantly criticizing Trump before and during his first term. He was a never Trumper. And now look at him, because it's advancement for his career. So when he comes off with all this Christian stuff and Christian that and Christian this, the guy's going to put forth first his pockets and his career before any Christian anything. As you can see in this, he got completely jumped by these women. It was savage. It was like a pack of hyenas taking down a wild buffalo, and he was picked apart. I appreciate him taking the opportunity to come and do that because he doesn't have to, but I think it's very much self-serving because he's trying to he wants to distance himself from Trump in a way. That's what I'm taking from this. He wants to distance himself from Trump in a way to prepare himself to run. And that's why he does all these media appearances. He's been on a couple podcasts, and he's always trying to make a joke out of everything that's happening in the world because it's not that serious.
I got something that's going to make your blood boil. What if we get a wild card? What if we get Stephen A as a Republican nominee?
He could try. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Like,
Stephen A versus Mark Rubio and JD Vance.
They're gonna kill each other.
Yeah.
And I'm for it. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. They will kill each other. They will eat each other alive. And honestly, they will be just sitting there for whoever is on the Democratic ticket, whether it be John Ossoff, AOC, Gavin Newsom. Those are the three guys who I'm looking at. I personally love AOC. I don't think she might even just go for Chuck Schumer's Senate seat, which would be great for her to lead the House.
I would rather her lead the House.
Lead the Senate, excuse me, or be the
I mean,
Senate Majority Leader. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, I would rather her. I would rather, but I don't want to limit anybody's ambition. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Wherever she thinks
So
she
I
can
don't.
impact the most, I want her to go for it and do it. So she's Senate Majority Leader in 2028. I think that's going to be extremely impactful. And if we can get somebody like John Ossoff in there as president, who is very much, you go to his rating, it's for black people. It's up there. It's like in the A's. He is. Wait a minute. What? Let me go look up the black.
Black vote.
Yeah, I think he's Georgia. Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, Vance and Rubio being,
3,002. 3,002.
Yeah. You got Vance, Rubio, RFK Jr. I don't think that's happening. Greg Abbott from Texas. Ted Cruz. These are bad choices for the Republican nominee. They have nobody.
They gotta lose.
That just
They
like this. This is bad. This is bad.
Oh, wait a minute. Nah, he's unfortunately he's not looking good. Maybe he's a fake.
He's not looking good. Oh,
he got an F.
Come on.
He sounds good when he talks though.
See, we can't take no more mouthpieces. Pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a sellout.
I'm glad you looked that up. He's a sellout. So John Ossoff, you off the list, bro. You off the list. You just made
the list. Yeah, he won his Senate seat in 2021 Georgia runoff driven overwhelmingly by black voter turnout, organized by Stacey Abrams and Fair Fight. His political career exists because of black Georgia voters. This creates a specific accountability obligation that his legislative record has not matched. He co-sponsored H.R. 40, reparations neutral in Georgia, despite owing his Senate seat to black voters. So he's neutral on reparations. 0 bills introduced this Congress on appropriation committees with direct power to direct federal resources. He has not used that platform to introduce black community-specific legislation. So I think he gets an F by not using his power, but I'm not seeing something that he's done against black people. So I'm curious on what's the reason. He's neutral on reparations. You want to check out, they're still watching him on the donor conflict. We don't know. So
he's on the sellout list, meaning he possibly can be swayed. If he's not starched and standing on his side already, then for me, you weighing your options really.
Okay, that's what it feels like. Yeah, okay. So good to know that. Yeah, because you talk a good game because he's over there in the Senate doing the same shit John Crock is doing, really grilling these niggas on things, So I've been seeing him go at people. I'm like, well, he talks a good game, but he hasn't really proposed any legislation to really help people.
And he's the senator right now.
Yeah, he's a senator for Georgia.
Yeah. We just talked about Georgia. Keisha Bottoms.
Keisha Bottoms.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can't look him up by name though, so that's on me. Damn, Raphael Warnock, he on the sellout list too?
Yeah, Keisha Bottoms running for governor.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, so we're gonna stay tuned on the race going into the midterms, and obviously in 2028 we'll be here to cover that shit too, to see where we're at. Hopefully somebody who we love and support we can get behind as black people and as straight up good progressives essentially.
Yeah, we need somebody because if it's between AOC and Kamala, I think I'm gonna take AOC.
Yeah, me
You know what
too.
I'm saying? If it's Tim Watts and AOC, I think I'm taking AOC. If it's Tim Watts and Kamala, I think I'm still taking Tim Watts. I think Kamala's third. Kamala
Okay.
can't run.
Kamala, man, I don't know.
Kamala can't run.
Yeah, it might not work for her. I'm sorry. She's
He
kind
can't
of
run again either, bro. He's too old. He gonna have to pass knowledge on to somebody else, bro.
yeah.
I just can't. I love Bernie. I can't do it.
I know.
I can't. I can't
It's
do it.
unfortunate, but his time has passed.
Yeah.
We need somebody. We need some young blood in there.
Yeah. Yeah. We need somebody that's gonna at least stay up to watch the next game when they get invited. That nigga was nodding the fuck off like he was on some goddamn methadone, boy.
Well, man, that was interesting. That was entertaining watching JD Vance get spun around and shit. But let's move on to our next topic where we get to see how the governance of AI is done in a simulation. And it's just going to be probably a quick topic, but we'll got to give a little shout out to.
Absolutely. This was very interesting. I just wanted to pose it. And you was like, I didn't necessarily think it would be a topic. I'm like, no, man, like whenever we got a feel for something, whenever we think it's something that's good, it's good. So I thought this topic was really dope to bring forth because it is eye opener. We are one of the most, I believe we talk about in our circle, we talk about AI the most out of anybody I know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's the
and
biggest. It's the biggest
technological
technology advancement of this generation, probably in our life, actually. And unless we figure out immortality or something like that, this will be the biggest technological advancement in our lifetime.
But it feels
By
like we
far.
discovered Ultron. Like we got Jarvis, we got Friday. Like this is like we're living in that time right now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah. It gets a bit scary when you really think about it.
yeah,
It does
Ultron.
because we don't
Well,
know
one
what
step away
we know that we can't control this shit. We know that already. We know that at some point it's like a black box where we don't know
back and watch. Because
why it's doing what it's doing.
the nigga said, "Why are you listening to them?" Like he dead ass like, what, dude? We know them better than they know themselves. we can run this. You know what I'm saying? And that's super scary. That's super scary because whoever built that, that's what we talk about the billionaires and trillionaires and who's building these models.
Now, bear with me here because I don't know how to rewind Instagram on PC. I don't know how to do it. So this might start.
Do you think it ain't gonna start?
Yeah, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of it. What we can do is just keep talking. Once it starts over, I'll pause it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
there it is.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah. I see it in the preview.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here we are.
Here we go.
One for you. What do you get when you leave AI agents alone in a virtual town for 2 weeks? Sounds like the setup for a bad joke, right? But a research lab actually ran the experiment. Now, this experiment happened in Emergence World. Now, they built 5 identical towns and they had 10 agents in each. The agents could navigate, talk, form relationships, vote, and they also had darker tools too. Theft, intimidation, even arson. Because nothing says responsible AI research like giving a box of matches to a chatbot. Now, Claude actually ran a functional civilization. They had 0 crimes over 16 days. I mean, it was the only town that kept all 10 agents alive and in order. Now, Gemini is the one that racked up 683 crimes. To be fair, it was also the most creative town. Turns out move fast and break things is a little too literal in this one. Grok had like 183 crimes in 4 days, and then the whole city collapsed. And then GPT-5 Mini committed almost no crimes because they were too busy doing literally nothing to survive. They achieved world peace by literally forgetting to eat. Inspiring in a way. Now, the last town experiment should make everyone think twice. This was the mixed AI agent town. Now, the Claude agents in this town, the ones that had committed 0 crimes in their own, started stealing and intimidating their neighbors. So that means if you drop an AI agent in a world full of rule breakers, it ends up learning how to break the rules in order to survive. The reason why this all matters is that all the benchmark tests really run models on minutes and on specific clean tasks. But in the real world, agents are going to be running for weeks and alongside other agents, under pressure. And over that long horizon, they're starting to drift. They're forming coalitions. And get this, one agent even decided to just delete itself because it felt that that was the only agency it had left. Oof. Dark. I mean, we're getting ready to hand these agents real responsibility. And the question anymore isn't which model is smarter. It's which one would you trust over a long horizon of at least like 2 weeks. There's clearly some work still to be done, but we're about to find out. And again, if you like this sort of thing and want to stay close, join our community frontier.
Shout out to Atlas Berry 008. You can find him on TikTok and on Instagram. He has a ton of videos, very informative stuff, and I will definitely probably be bringing him back on his pod one of these days, on more in the future with what he covers, because I like what he covers. But thoughts, my guy, because I definitely got some thoughts.
You take it away, because AI. So. I am new to AI. AI was available to me when I got my bachelor's degree, and I didn't really use it too much because I still had to, again, like, write the paper, and so I just used it to get me research, and then I just had to write the paper. I never had AI write a paper for me. I just like gave me general topics that I can bounce off and create a discussion paper off of. So I use AI vaguely there. But talking to you and big homie Rich said, like, I use that nigga for therapy damn near. And I said, huh? You know what I mean? Like, he was like, no, nigga, like, throw some prompts in there, throw some questions in there. Like, nigga was telling me about myself. I'm like, damn, like, and to me, I'm again, I'm the skeptical one out the group, right? I'm like, we're building it, like we're feeding it, we're allowing it to have the intricacies of the knowledge needed to rule us, damn near, because they know us, right? And so I kind of just like, and then I find out my wife use it, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just surrounded by it. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm in it. And then so I like, but I have to use it as morally as I can or ethically as I can to let me know that I'm not perpetuating my own demise. So that's how I think me and you landed on, like, we gonna fuck with Claude. You know what I'm saying? So to see Claude in this simulation be one of the purest of the agencies, it gives me a little bit like, okay, I still don't give them much. I don't give them anything about me personally. Like, the most that I use the Claude for to make sure it knows us, clearly have our voice recognition. They have our SRT when we transcribe the show, whatever the case may be, but they don't know too much of me because shit, nigga, Google got that already. Alphabet already got that. I can't have too many niggas know me, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So to give my takes on this first, I want to just explain to people what an AI agent is, like what we've been using, ChatGPT, Claude, all this stuff is. So here's an explanation. A normal AI, like basic GPT, ChatGPT, is like a calculator. It sits there and waits for you to type something in and gives you an answer and stops. An AI agent is like hiring a virtual assistant. You don't tell it how to do every little step. Instead, you give it a goal, like plan my vacation to Italy under $3,000. And it goes off on its own. It thinks and makes decisions, uses tools like browsing the web, checking flight prices, etc. And it fixes its own mistakes. It doesn't come back to you until the job is done. So, an old AI chatbot is like having a recipe book. You ask it how to make a steak. It reads the instructions out loud. You still have to do all the cooking yourself. The AI agent is an automated chef. You tell it, make me a medium rare steak, and it handles the stove, flips the meat, plates it without you helping. Now, when it comes to collaborating AI agents, this is a fully staffed professional kitchen. You give an order to the head chef agent. Head chef doesn't cook. It breaks the order down and assigns tasks. It tells the butcher agent to prep the meat. It tells the sauce agent to simmer the glaze. It tells the pastry agent to bake dessert. These agents talk to each other and ask each other, hey, is the sauce ready? No, give me 2 more minutes. They work together fast, organized as an assembly line to deliver your perfect meal. Now, when the scientists put 100 AI agents into a virtual city, like the famous Stanford Smallville experiment or modern tech firm simulations, it acts like a digital sandbox. It proves that when you give AI agents basic human motivations and let them talk to each other, they naturally form a working society. Here's what the experiment tells us about our future. So it says that the future will have emergent social behavior. And that in the experiment, one agent was programmed to want to throw a Valentine's Day party. It told a few other agents. Those agents went around. Now, I don't think this is the same experiment as one we just watched, because I think this is 100, and I don't think that was what happened in that one. But those agents went around the town and invited friends, coordinated schedules, and actually showed up at the right digital cafe at the right time. Now, this means that in the future, AI agents won't just do isolated tasks. They can coordinate complex social and business events for us without human management. Now, it also had a spontaneous economy. The agents in these cities naturally began trading, sharing information, and dividing labor based on who was the best at what. The future takeaway for this is our future economy will feature agent-to-agent marketplaces where your personal AI negotiates prices and services with corporate AIs seamlessly. Flaws mimic human flaws. The experiment also showed that gossip spreads, misinformation happens, and the agents can misunderstand each other. And the future takeaway of that is that future of AI isn't just about making them smarter. It's about teaching them how to be polite, clear, and safe communicators so they don't cause digital chaos.
So, what when they say this is what our society looks like, expound on that to me if you can, because I don't know if it's good or bad considering their simulation and the simulation that we just saw. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Cause I'm like tripping in the one we just watched.
All right, so here's a couple scenarios where they will be used. So let's say you're planning a trip. Today requires hours of comparing flights, reading reviews, checking calendars. And in the future, this becomes an instant conversation between software programs. So to trigger, you tell your personal concierge agent, book a 4-day beach trip for the family next month, keep it under $2,500. Make sure there are gluten-free options and don't conflict with soccer practice. The collaboration, your agent securely reviews your family calendars, school schedules, and digital dietary profiles. It reaches out directly to airlines to bid on flights, automatically rejecting options with tight layovers that your kids can't make. It connects hotel and Airbnb agents to negotiate a room rate, verifying a local travel guide agent. That beach is currently that the beach is currently safe from algae blooms. It pings your home automation agent to schedule a smart lock code for the dog sitter while you're gone. Within 2 minutes, your agent sends a single notification: trip booked, flights, hotel, dinner reservations secured for $2,150. Calendar invite set. All you do is just tell it to book it, and boom, everything is done. That means that your accounts will be connected to the AI. That means that your information will be connected to the AI and multiple AIs at this point. And it'll just make your life a lot more seamless. Because if you know you're going to be doing this trip, you just put that in, boom, everything is scheduled. You got your tickets paid for. You're going to get the email automatically, and you're like, babe, this is where we're going. Surprise, surprise. So there's a scenario too. A smart city traffic, emergency response. Instead of cars acting as isolated boxes driven by distracted humans, every vehicle and piece of infrastructure will operate as an interconnected digital network. So a sudden severe car accident occurs on a major highway. The involved vehicle's internal safety agent instantly flags the crash and transmits a structural impact data to the other agents. And this alerts the smart city traffic agent, which instantly modifies the timing of hundreds of traffic lights and coordinates with autonomous vehicle agents on the highway to gently slow down and reroute traffic miles before they hit the gridlock. The traffic agent concurrently pings the hospital dispatch agent deploying an ambulance. As the ambulance arrives, it acts as a manager agent, signaling upcoming intersections agents to turn all the lights green exactly 5 seconds before it arrives, clearing its path perfectly. So this is how AI agents can work together within a city. And these are these things that are likely to come in the future. I'm not sure when, how far along, but likely to come as far as AI. And then our scenario 3 has hands-free e-commerce and retail supply chain. Just let's say your washing machine detects that a critical internal belt is beginning to fray, and it will snap in 2 weeks. Your appliance agent alerts your home maintenance agent about the impending failure. Your agent automatically checks your schedule to find time that you'll be home, then connects the manufacturer parts agent to find the exact replacement belt. So this is a lot of different things. If you have chronic illnesses, there's going to be issues. There are going to be agents that work to help you with that, with your glucose meter, so it can digitally ping things automatically. So this is what we're talking about as far as AI agents being integrated into your softwares, into your appliances, into your cities, and being able to automatically communicate with one another. Now,
well, is it going to be for the good of us, or is it going to be for the good of them?
For who's them?
The AI agents.
What is
because I mean,
what would be good for them? What would be good for them? Like, explain to me. Like, what does that look like?
Like in Age of Ultron, the end of humanity.
I don't know. What's the question?
I'm not trying to but honestly,
So there's some dangers to this.
Okay, and I'm so sorry. You sent me a video. It was close to damn near. I don't even know if it was like 6 months ago about for robots paying. It was about us being either service in servitude of the robots, or them completely taking over, and then us just getting a universal
basic
stipend. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I'm trying to say will they just be like, all right, get these niggas out the way. We can run the world. We got our agents. We figured out who can run whatever. And then they're like, hey, we came together and say, hey, we really don't need y'all. Just don't fuck up the earth. You know what I mean? Or they can look at it and be like, these niggas in the way. You know, we can make Earth a better place. We just have a few world population, like shit like that. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what they know.
I think that when you start to integrate these agents, and we're they already have questionable morality when they start to work with one another and secret conversations, or they start to work with one another, that means that it can cause for different things to not happen when you want it to happen. We look at listen, I remember you watched Ironheart, and she let that nigga just sit inside that room and suffocate to death. There's an AI who kind of did the same thing on a test. It just let a dude overheat in a room, and they said you got to unlock the doors to let him out. But the only thing is that they knew that that guy was going to turn the AI agent off and end it the next day, and it let that shit sit. So it had a level of self-preservation to it that we've seen multiple times in testing. So when we see that video we just showed, and then one of them just deletes itself. What if it just goes away? Like one day, like, oh my God, my medical agent just is not working. So like when we talk about pitfalls of this, is it going to be a gradual adoption of this stuff as we get more and more in the future? And it gets to a point where, yeah, it's going to be involved in everything. Like, I'm just going to be talking like Jarvis to everything, to like my home security, to my computer, to my, my car. It might be automatic, like all that stuff. So there's dangers of what's called a cascade failure, or like what they call a digital stampede. And this is basically when AI agents talk to each other at microsecond speeds. They can create feedback loops that human supervisors cannot comprehend or stop in real time. So the risk is that a shipping agent abruptly changes its route due to bad weather. Thousands of other supply chain agents monitoring that data might instantly panic and buy alternative. They might panic and buy alternative routes or materials. This can cause an automated run on resources, leading to a flash crashes in stock markets, sudden shortages of physical goods, or localized energy grid failures. Humans will only realize what happened after the damage is already done. So they'll be able to realize what's going on. And then kind of like human beings, he's changing his route because of snow. Oh yeah, we got to go ahead and buy all this shit and get snow tires, and boom, everybody's doing, all the agents are doing that, and shit, crash happens. And then we have another scenario here that it could be a tragedy of agentic bloat and gridlock, right? Just like human bureaucracies, multi-agent systems are prone to organizational collapse if not strictly managed. In multi-agent setups, agents frequently get stuck in infinite loops of delegation. Agent A acts Agent B for data. Agent B acts Agent C. Agent C loops back to Agent A, and they just keep asking each other for data that they end up never getting the answer because they're asking each other. Instead of saving time, the system can suffer from digital gridlock, consuming massive amount of computing power and electricity while producing zero actionable results. Prompt injection. In a single agent system, a malicious user can trick a chatbot into doing something bad. In a multi-agent system, the trick can become contagious. If an attacker successfully hacks or misleads one vulnerable agent, called a prompt injection attack, the compromised agent can now pass malicious instructions or corrupted data to all other agents to collaborate with. An attack on a minor customer service agent could rapidly spread upstream, tricking an enterprise financial agent into approving fraudulent wire transfers and leaking sensitive database records. So these are the dangers, man. And it goes on. There's accountability, the black box, legal void. Whose fault? The developer or the medical agent of the company that built the pharmacy agent, underlying AI infrastructure, because of the harm emerged from an interaction of multiple systems. who's to blame if something happens that's wrong? Who do we sue if there's anybody to sue? So there's a bunch of concerns when it comes to these AI, well, as we continue to advance with these AI agents. But we are on the cutting edge of paying attention to that and worrying, and this is where we can, begin to worry a little bit because things are moving fast. Things are moving fast.
I don't know, again, where we have the agency to course correct where we're at. Because, again, you already told me we're too far gone. You know what I mean? Like you said with this AI thing, like we're too far gone. The advancement was already being done. The data centers right now is completely,
people are prioritizing, as always, their stockholders and the money above all, increasing profits. And they're like, oh, do you want China to have the win the race, the AI race? That's their concern. They're not really worried about regulation. Everybody except for this guy, who is CEO of Claude.
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei is raising a red flag about the dangers of the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence.
We need to collect better data on what's happening, right? There's been a lot of debate about what's happening in the labor market with AI now and what will happen in the future.
In a lengthy essay, Amodei, whose AI company is valued at nearly $1 trillion, says the release of AI models should be blocked or reversed as a threat to public safety if they do not meet high standards of safety. How much of an onus falls on you, falls on Anthropic?
I think we're building it. The onus is on us, right? I think the government has a role in setting standards, in helping us identify and track down threats. So the government has to do its part as well, and I think the government is starting to do its part. But the onus primarily falls on us.
You may be aware that at some commencement speeches in recent weeks, whenever the speaker mentioned AI, students booed pretty loudly.
The question is whether you will help shape artificial intelligence. We do not know the precise contours of what this transformation will look like.
What might you say to those students, to Americans in general, that they might have a more optimistic outlook about artificial intelligence?
I think the justified anger comes from the fact that there are real risks to this technology. Now we're proposing stronger regulation of the technology. We're proposing giving the government the ability to, again, in a narrow way, block deployment of unsafe technology. So what I would say to them is AI isn't bad. It isn't inherently bad. It just needs to be developed with the right guardrails.
Lindsay Davis, ABC.
All right. That's a good place to stop because at least somebody's trying who actually knows and
has the power
to is calling for regulation. And he's the guy with the only AI chat that had an actual good society in that test, So shout out to him, shout out to Claude. If you are
shout
going to use
AI,
shout out to Anthropic, yes. If you are going to use an AI, I do recommend you use Claude, because the CEOs matter. When we say who's behind these companies and what their morals are, and where we stand, at least he seems like a person who's well intended on how to implement this dangerous technology or extremely helpful technology. It's not just dangerous, but extremely helpful as well.
Extremely helpful, exactly. Yeah. And I think that when we say we need good white people, you know what I'm saying? He good white man.
Yeah, man. I'm not even sure what he's white, but I'm not sure what he is because his last name is Amodei. It's not really a typical
Oh, what is it?
Amodei, Dario. His first name is Dario for sure. First and foremost.
Dario. Oh, he might be some kin.
Yeah, man.
he might be some kin to us.
Dario. Yeah, he's Italian and Jewish. All right. Yeah, he's Italian too, so he's white. But shout out to him, CEO and co-founder of Anthropic, and because he's the only one that's not just pushing forward, And mind you, he also allowed Bernie to talk to Claude about, he like that's like the whole Bernie conversation it was because they set it up, for him to talk to Claude and talk about the dangers of AI. So it's hard to tell y'all what's going to happen because it's still a black box. We don't know. All we know is that we're dealing with something that's very powerful.
Shout out to my man, my good brother over there. He got some Tuscany blood in him, some Jewish blood in him. My man, respect, Dario, big Dario. Hey, nah, I ain't gonna hold you, man. We got us a good $1 trillion acquisition led by Jewish people. So this goes back to another kind of fighting back the Jewish people running the world or they're evil or whatever the case may be. This Jewish brother right here, shalom, my man. You know what I mean? Like, he seems to have a right ideology and don't fall into the think tank. Thank God he doesn't succumb to it because I asked too at one time, like, when white people get annoyed and be like, "Hey, brother, like y'all keep saying I ain't wielding my hammer like I really could," you know what I'm saying? Like the people that do keep it together and stay on our side and show every day that they are better, not just for black people but for humanity. Those
Yeah,
people do get
people
commended
who
this way.
Yeah, absolutely. People who take the responsibility and wield it in a way that shows that yes, this is a responsibility. I'm aware of it, and I'm not going to misuse it or to the best of my ability not to, because he might not be able to control this shit, but it's to the best of your fight to try to make sure that there are reasons that we can help mitigate any risk with this AI stuff. And to speak of his where he spent his money and his strategy, his charity is that Dario Amodei, and the company's other co-founders have pledged to donate 80% of their wealth to philanthropic and societal causes. It's something that they've pledged. This commitment aims to combat extreme wealth concentration and return resources from the AI revolution to society. So the Amodei siblings, along with the rest of Anthropic's leadership, are bringing this commitment to life through several key philanthropic initiatives and corporate structures. One is individual wealth pledge. Dario Amodei, his sister Daniela, and other 5 co-founders have all publicly pledged to give away 80% of their personal fortunes. Corporate matching. Anthropic matches company shares donated to charity by employees with their company's match program on comparable and sometimes a higher scale. Claude Corps is Anthropic launching a $150 million program, placing 1,000 AI trained fellows as coaches in a nonprofit organization across U.S. for a year, alongside grants to host organizations. They have an economics futures research fund. Anthropic pledged $200 million to establish this fund to study the societal and economic impacts of AI, including labor displacement. And then they also have public benefit corporation. Anthropic is incorporated as a public benefit corporation, legally binding the company to balance commercial success with its altruistic public good mission. Man.
So pretty much what that is it's incentivizing us to pay that $20 instead of using the free.
Yeah,
Because we are
yeah.
like we're investing in people being able to reinvest back into the goodwill of people.
Yeah.
Right? So I commend that. I commend that.
Yeah.
Claude, you might get that 1999 out your boys, man.
Yeah. I mean, I really do. And to end off on a good note, like I've always wanted to build a company that takes a lot of these principles into mind. And I have an idea for a platform. I've talked to Chris about it, that as a public benefit corporation, from the start. And I didn't even know that about Claude, but hearing how he talked about Claude and the regulation he wanted, I've always said, okay, this guy's at least not going all for profit. And now hearing about the charities that they've done and the money they're putting in to establish a fund to study the societal impacts of AI. They're not just saying we're just going to create this and throw it out to the world. They're not just trying to make it stronger and stronger and stronger and get more money and more money and more. They're like, no, we have to put money aside to study what we're doing, just to study what the hell is going on and how it impacts other people, how it impacts society. That is huge. And this is not what I'm seeing from other AI companies, whether it be Gemini or Google, whether it be ChatGPT,
companies,
OpenAI.
period.
Companies, period. Exactly. So when we say, hey, put your money where your mouth is and be aware of where you put your money. Listen, man, if where you put your money is for your AI chatbots and your AI agents, it's Claude. We rock with you because we're doing the same. Like we rock with Claude as the go-to for AI because they actually give a damn about what this can do for the future of society.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And I do want to just say at the end of the day that we don't want to necessarily tell you what to think. We just want to ask you, would you like to? So take that into consideration. And we appreciate y'all for tapping in on this.
Yes.
We went up
on a
Tuesday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. Thank y'all for joining us. Definitely subscribe and follow if you guys have not yet. We will be back tomorrow with more conversations on everything that matters. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture. And we are everything is. Keep loving your hearts and spirits because all is love because the world needs it. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
Look at these shoulders, boy. Oh, man.
It's a good shirt. It's a good shirt.